It is Monday, November the 17th. It is Victory Monday once again, and it is the start of a new era. So do us a favor, kick back, relax, and on the other side, welcome to the era of 609 Sports Talk Radio. And welcome in everybody to Unbiased, only here on 609 Sports Talk Radio. So listen, we got a lot to go over. Of course, you know 609 Sports Talk Radio is still what we always like to talk about because we are still uniting fans and igniting debate. And as always, we are your hosts, Sam Nelson, Tyler Adams, Dustin Reese has joined us once again for this show. So look, before we get into the show, before we get into anything, we've done a little, as you can see, we've done a little redecorating. A lot of new stuff going on here at 609. As always, you guys know, every Monday, you guys have welcomed 609 Sports Talk into your homes. We're always talking about all the things around football, some NBA, whatever we feel like talking about during the current day. However, now, I'm sure some people are asking, what is the difference between 609 Sports Talk and 609 Sports Talk Radio? Well, 609 Sports Talk has been a weekly episode that we come in, usually talking NFL, college football, some NBA during the spring, when the playoffs are going to kick off, because nobody cares 10 games in, 18 players already out with calf injury, so what's the matter? But either way, we've come to you guys every Monday for over a year now, and you've welcomed us into your homes. What 609 Sports Talk Radio is, this is no longer a once-a-week show. 609 Sports Talk Radio is the platform for the multiple shows of coverage we will give you guys throughout the year of football. We're going to be adding some baseball here, hopefully within the next coming year. Not in the next coming year, hopefully by the beginning of next season. We got other shows that we're trying to get prepared to come on at a later date. But to start off this week, we kick it off every Monday at 7 with Unbiased, with, of course, Tyler and myself. Dustin, whenever he's able to join us, and whoever else, wants to come in. And
I'm here already. I'm just not on camera yet because I'm eating.
He's here. He's here in virtual spirits, everybody. But to kick off the 609 Sports Talk Radio era, we do have a new show. Beginning this Friday. From this Friday until the Friday before the Super Bowl, we will be debuting the show known as the Friday Night Gridiron Picks. What that is Tyler and I will be taking our Around the NFL segment, taking it out of the Monday show and turning it into about an hour preview show for the upcoming week of games. We will preview every NFL game coming up. No, we don't care about Thursday Night Football. It's not our fault it's on Thursday. Get over it. But we'll preview all the games. And, of course, if there's a college game that has big ramifications, top 10 altering, we'll get into that as well. So that show will start this Friday, and we'll go all the way up until the Friday before the Super Bowl. And then we will probably go away from it for a little bit, and we'll return for week 1 of the NFL season next year. It is a little more of a seasonal show, but we will have other shows that will be year-round, hopefully, by the time that comes. So, now that the introduction is done, Carol's in here saying Happy Victory Monday. What's
Happy
up,
Victory
Carol?
Monday, Carol.
I feel like I need
Carol,
I need to take notes.
Some, not all. But And of course, also, before I really get into this, the reason for the name Unbiased is because Tyler and I have prided ourselves, regardless of who we cheer for or who we talk about the most, we pride ourselves on being unbiased people. We do not use our biased fandom to mask issues with our current team or with other teams.
Oh yeah.
I'm not ESPN. I'm not going to sit here and talk about the 5-5 Chiefs for 2 hours. I want to give the teams that deserve the respect they deserve to be talked about, and that is what Unbiased is about. We give the people what they actually want, not Cam Newton sitting up in one of his stupid suits talking about the Eagles, who were supposed to be exposed last night. I saw a team get exposed, but it wasn't the Philadelphia Eagles.
You lost me at Cam Newton, Sam.
Yeah, well, that's another story for another day. By the way, shout out Paul George. He's playing his first game tonight. It's about freaking time.
Wow.
Well, we kind of need him now. Kelly Oubre's out for at least a month.
Oh damn.
LCL injury in the knee. Not a very typical basketball injury. But anyway, let's get into the show, fellas. We got a lot to talk about. College football. I had a playoff bracket from last week, but after what happened on Saturday, it don't matter. So we'll get to the new top 25 because that matters a lot now. We'll be talking NFL Week 11. Gentlemen, whatever games you guys, whatever popped into your head that you want to talk about, let's do it. We do have a new head coaching hire in college football as well. If only somebody had been predicting that for almost 2 months. But we're going to start off last night, Sunday Night Football, Eagles-Lions. Look, I would love to sit on here and say, man, the Eagles beat the Lions. It was a shootout, 45-37. It was exactly the NFC Championship game we thought we were going to see last year. Except both these teams turned back the clock like it was 1997 again, and both defenses played extremely well. Eagles offense once again completely struggled all over the field, mustering only one touchdown. However, the Eagles defense held the Lions for a combined 3 of 18 combined between third and fourth down. 3 for 13 on third, 0 of 5 on fourth down, holding the Lions to 74 rushing yards. The Eagles defense dominated last night. The Lions defense was just as impressive. However, I still believe that a lot of it had to do more with the Eagles just being completely brain dead offensively sometimes, and that has to do with a lot of stuff. But I guess let's kick it off, gentlemen. What is it's nice to have Dustin with us, having an outsider's point of view. What is your bigger takeaway from this game? The Eagles' defensive dominance or the Eagles' offensive inconsistencies continuing? Gentlemen, who would like to kick this off?
Go ahead, Tyler.
All right. So there's a lot to unpack here. We've seen it the whole year so far. The defense has bailed out what has been a lackluster Philadelphia Eagles offense through most of the season. Last night's display was one of the most dominant against the Lions offense that has been pretty explosive for a good part of the year. They held in check Jahmyr Gibbs, who typically averages about 73 rushing yards a game, not even counting in his pass presence out of the backfield. And they held David Montgomery, who usually averages 49 yards per carry. They each had 39 yards and 27 yards. That defensive front played an amazing game. Finally, we get to talk about the addition of Jalen Phillips. We missed out on it because of the Thursday night game. But finally, we get to talk.
You mean Monday night game?
Oh, Monday night game. Yes, my fault. Monday night
Jalen
game.
Phillips was making his debut live during 609 last week, everybody.
And, man, the impact through 2 games has been ridiculous. I don't know if you have the snap count numbers, but I feel like I always see him on the field.
I can go find it if you give me like 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to keep talking about how amazing he is. I mean, I got to pull up his stats so far. I know his quarterback pressures have been insane through the roof. And his addition just helps out and makes it so much easier for all the guys, whether it's Moro Jomo, Jalix Hunt, Jalen Carter still getting double teamed, which makes it easier for everybody else.
Oh, we're going to have a minute because I got something to say about those boys up front. And I ain't talking even about the edge rushers.
I'm going to pull up Phillips' stats.
I mean, I will say with the Eagles this year, though, like they say defense wins championships. And the Eagles' defense is definitely built to win a championship, not only this year, but for years to come because of how young their defense is. But at some point, they are going to need some offensive production because as good as that defense is, they are going to face offenses in the playoffs that can put up 20 points on that defense. And if their offense can't put up 20 points, it's not going to matter how good their defense is playing. They're still going to need to score points at some point.
Yeah. No, I do agree.
Oh, absolutely.
But the one thing I will say is that usually in the big games and the big moments, that's when the offense tends to come to life.
Mm-hmm.
When their backs are against the wall, when they need to make those plays. Like earlier in the year when they played the Rams. The Rams were just they were going up and down the field on the defense. The defense was trying to slow them down, but there's only so much you could do against an offense with possible MVP Matt Stafford, future already a star Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. I mean, that was a rough game, but the offense, they came to life. Specifically, someone who I've had a lot of issues with lately, A.J. Brown. That was, I think, his best game of the season against the Rams. And there's still just so many underlying issues between him, some lack of effort that I still see out of him. But I'm sure Sam has some things that he wants to talk about with him as well, so we'll get to that.
I got a lot of stuff to talk about with it when it comes to AJ Brown.
Back to Jalen Phillips. So far, there was 2 games as a Philadelphia Eagle. He has 6 solo tackles, total of 11. He only has 1 sack. I thought he had a half a sack last night, but I guess he didn't get credited for it.
Who?
Jalen Phillips.
He had a total sack last night.
This might have not updated then, because it still shows 1. He had 1 in his first game with us, did he not? Monday night?
Did he not? Hold on. 1 minute, please. Let's go. Hold on. I got this. Jalen Phillips.
If you guys want an upgrade from AJ Brown, you may have an upgrade available this offseason. We're just gonna leave it at that.
No, Tyler, he did not have a sack against Green Bay. He had the forced fumble. He had a fumble recovery.
Okay. That's what it was.
So, just real quickly, gentlemen, before we continue, the peeps are flying in tonight. First of all, Carol, we already saw it in here. What's up, Kaylee?
What's up, Kaylee?
Carol, trust me, the defense is certainly we were rocking everybody last night. What's up, Orlando? Always a win is a win. That's how we have to do this here. Carol wants to talk some defense tonight. So, Carol, you're in the right spot because I got you covered about 5.
Defense tonight.
What else is there to talk about?
Exactly. Well, there's a lot to talk about. We'll get to that. What's up, Espo?
You mean all the offense in the playoffs that we have already beat this year? Yeah. Yes.
So the one team that I think at this point that I'm picking to beat the Eagles right now is the Rams. Because if you go back to that Rams game against Philadelphia, the Rams had the Eagles beat most of that game up until special teams. But the Rams have gotten better since that loss. And right now they are playing the best football in the NFC right now.
They have the best quarterback in the NFC right now.
Defense, I think their defense is the 3rd best defense in the NFC behind the Eagles and the Seahawks. So it's not like the Rams defense is no slouch either. Like the Rams right now, I think are the most complete team top to bottom in the NFC right now.
Oh, we've done nothing but talk adamantly about that Rams defense. That defensive front is
I said it. They're still the scariest team to me.
Oh yeah.
And they're not afraid of the Eagles because if you look at last year's postseason, the Rams were the team that played the Eagles the toughest of anybody.
Yeah, that came
And
down to the wire.
and that was actually in the snow and horrible weather, and they still played the Rams or the Eagles tougher than anybody.
Yeah,
A team that you would think would not do well in the snow actually played better than anybody else.
No, Espa, I know the wind played a factor last night, just like the cold played a factor on Monday night. But there's still things, even with that wind, that you have to be able to do as an offense.
yeah, I agree.
But I'll get to the offense in a minute because I know there's going to be a lot of back and forth. But this defense, Espa, it doesn't matter if they've beaten them 4 times.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it doesn't matter if they've beaten them 4 times in a calendar year. The Rams are the one team in the NFC that matches up the best with the Eagles. They're the only team in the NFC that's not afraid of the Eagles. And they're the only team, in my opinion, in the NFC that knows they can go toe-to-toe with the Eagles because they had the Eagles beat for 55 minutes this year until they missed the field goal and had a blocked field goal. Like, they outplayed the Eagles for 55 of those 60 minutes earlier in the season.
Yeah. The scary part about the Rams is they got a lot of tape to go back and watch to see what they did wrong to not win those games.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if the Eagles do lose to the Rams, I don't think it'll be by a lot. It'll be
like a field goal.
But, yeah, kind of like we saw with the Seahawks against the Rams yesterday. Came down to the wire, missed field goal. Now, Darnold's performance didn't help at all with that, but...
Hey, Darnold sees ghosts.
What does that say? What does that say about the Seahawks? The fact that your quarterback could throw no passing touchdowns with 4 interceptions, and you are still a field goal away from winning that football game.
Their defense is just as good as anybody's also.
I think their defense might be the best in the NFC.
Sam Darnold does not want to see the Rams anymore because the 2 games against the Rams last year, now the first game against the Rams this year, he has 1 touchdown and 8 interceptions. He sees ghosts when he plays the Rams.
Oh, man.
Because actually, go ahead, Dustin. Go ahead.
The playoffs, he got sacked 9 times and threw 2 picks in the playoff loss to the Rams last year. In their Week 6 loss, which was a Thursday night loss to the Rams, he got sacked 7 times and threw 2 picks. And then yesterday, he got sacked 4 times and threw 4 picks. He sees ghosts when he plays the Rams.
He
does.
Tyler, to answer your question earlier, Jalen Phillips played 45 snaps, which was 76%. The Eagles' defense played 59 snaps as a whole. So, to answer your question.
Yeah, like I said, I see him on the field a lot.
And the thing with last night, by the way, Dennis, the only thing that I saw last night times 2 was both safeties playing pretty damn good football last night.
Yeah. They were both out there tackling.
Andrew Makuba was out there putting hit sticks on dudes.
Yeah.
But
and then you look at the good old Adoree Jackson love-hate relationship. But
okay, listen. First of all, no, let's start there because I have to say, I thought Adoree Jackson played a really good game last night. Okay, he allowed the slant touchdown to Jameson Williams. How many other corners would have caught Jameson Williams on that play?
None.
He's so fast. I mean,
and remember something. The one thing granted, Adoree is older now, but when he came out of USC, the one thing he was known for was his speed, and he still looked like he could run a little bit. But Jameson Williams with the ball in space and catching that football before getting touched, it's no bueno for anybody. There's nothing you could do there.
Yeah. But that one play, was there one touchdown the whole night?
And not to that, Adoree had multiple pass breakups in that game.
He did.
There was a lot of the times he was the primary defender against Amon-Ra, who had 2 catches the whole game.
I don't know how they kept getting that matchup, but luckily it wasn't working out for him.
Well, it's because Amon-Ra doesn't play a decent amount of the time in the slot, but when he does move outside, they're going to try to move him around to Adoree Jackson, of course.
Yeah.
Because if he's in the slot the entire game, I have a slot corner who's pretty good last time I checked. He had a big game last night. Finally, an Eagles corner can catch an interception.
Can catch an interception and can tackle like a linebacker.
Urban Machine is really literally like having like a more athletic linebacker instead of a nickel corner. But if you just look at the way that defensive front performed last night, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Moro Ajomo, Nolan Smith, Jalen Phillips, Brandon Graham even had some nice plays last night.
Yeah.
And then I love Jihad Campbell. I think Jihad's going to be a tremendous linebacker in this league.
Mm-hmm.
The defense changed in two reasons. One, when they got healthy, when Nolan came back and Carter got healthy, and Jalen Phillips came over and BG came back. But when this defense got Nakobe Dean back, it added a physical element to it. And like I said, I love Jihad. Jihad's going to be a great player. Vic's going to find ways to make him one of the best middle linebackers in football, probably. But there is something that Nakobe Dean brings to this defense, from a physicality standpoint. And then if you just look at that defensive front, I mean, I think Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter had more block shots last night than Joel Embiid. I mean, it was
bad. That hard to do at this point?
I mean, Joel Embiid goes up by the perimeter now, so that's not hard.
Well, first of all, the Jordan Davis pass deflection that resulted in the Cooper DeJean pick. Did you see how hard Davis land on his back after that play?
I did not.
If that was Joel Embiid, he would have been 8 to 9 months.
Oh, no.
With multiple back fractures.
I mean, what is the one thing we said about this defensive front? Once the reinforcements got there, we got healthy. We knew we were getting Nolan Smith back. Brandon Graham was a nice surprise for a veteran presence in a locker room.
Dennis, I'm done with you. I'm done with you. I can't. Sidney Brown would have called Jameson Williams. Okay.
I don't know where.
Dennis, Sidney Brown is not fast.
Sidney Brown could have caught him at the casino.
Maybe I know Sidney Brown isn't fast? Because Keely Ringo's a better gunner than him.
Oh, again, you see, dude, another unit last night, Michael Clay, that unit, kick and punt coverage in a windy night, excellent. But, if you just look at this, back to the defense, man, Jordan Davis was swatting balls all night. Jalen Carter was getting in the backfield all night.
Oh, yeah.
I told every one of you, comments, Tyler, Dustin's been on plenty of times to hear this. I told you, I love me some Milton Williams. But Moro Ajomo's a guy that I think has a bright future, and he's actually outperformed Milton Williams.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I mean, Moro Ajomo's all over the field. 4th down stop. He was in on the 4th down fake punt. Quinyon Mitchell didn't allow a catch last night.
Yep.
We are just in. This is a defense.
Moro Ajomo's development has been tremendous this year. He was the one last Monday against Green Bay who called out that run play on the 4th and 2, 4th and 1 that they ended up stuffing it. He called out that run play. He's not the player I expect to call that out.
Yeah.
But his development's been tremendous.
Dennis, the fact BG was all over the field last night in his limited snaps. Actually, wait, what did he play last night? I should have looked at that while I was thinking.
Yeah, Phillips was the much needed.
Oh wow, he only played 8 snaps.
Unexpected surprise that Howie Roseman went out and made before the trade deadline. I know me and you discussed this before, Sam, about the 2 pass rushers that Miami might be looking to sell: Jalen Phillips or Bradley Chubb. And it's safe to say that we got the better of the 2. Especially if we give him a long-term contract to stay here after the season as well. Because I believe he's on an expiring deal.
Yes, he's on the 5th year of his rookie contract.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I understood that people are like, Bradley Chubb, he's got the pedigree. He's been with Vic before. But didn't Jalen Phillips kind of fit in more with this defense? A young guy at 26. People were so concerned early on in the season about this defense. And I was like, guys, they're young as heck. They're the youngest defense in the league almost. They actually may be the youngest defense in the league. But they're banged up. Nolan Smith was out for a while. Jalen Carter was battling injuries. I mean, God, he was playing that Bucks game. His arm was hanging down for Pete's sake. These guys weren't healthy. And I'm looking at the snap counts real quick. This is what the Eagles wanted from last year. No edge rusher. Only 4 Eagles played 100% of the snaps last night.
Mm-hmm.
Reed Blankenship, shout out. Zach Bourne, Quinyon Mitchell, and Andrew Makuba. Adoree Jackson played 57, that's 97%, and Carter played 90. He took 4 snaps off. Jalen Phillips played 76%, was 45, like I said. Then you have Jalix Hunt only played 36. Nolan Smith only played 22.
Yeah.
And Brandon Graham only played 8. Which, I mean, for BG, that's fine.
Yeah. But no one's expecting BG to be playing like 50% of the snaps.
You shouldn't be playing 30. Anywhere in that 8 to 12 where he can make a play or two,
yeah,
I'm fine with that. But that's the thing. Nolan Smith only played 22 snaps. That's fine, too. Nolan Smith is a very aggressive defensive end. He's a very aggressive edge rusher. He tends to be a little bit hectic and does tend to get himself hurt. You are able now to keep him healthy and keep him fresh. Jalix Hunt was playing almost every snap earlier on in the year because they had no pass rush, and he was the only guy that could get consistent pressures on anybody. Me and Tyler said it from the beginning. We love Jalix Hunt. But I would not have expected Jalix Hunt to be a full-time starter in year 2 when he's only been playing edge rusher for, 2 years?
Probably 2 years, yeah.
But you want some? Here's some. I got numbers. Jalix Hunt last night, 6 pressures led the team. 5 quarterback hits led the team. 1 hurry and a 16.7% win rate led the team. Jalix Hunt has been playing amazing football ever since the Vikings game.
Don't get me started on that debacle right now.
No.
Look, he had a pick 6. Since then, he's been one of the better defensive players on the team. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to bring out the Vikings. I don't want to do that to you.
Oh, you can do it because I'm ready to stinking castrate JJ McCarthy because he's a useless piece of shit.
Okay.
Ooh. I don't want to say that I wasn't high on JJ McCarthy, but I kind of said I was never high on JJ McCarthy.
We fucked up. I really wish we had Sam Darnold or Daniel Jones.
It's a bad look for
the coach
organization that they let both Darnold and Jones walk.
And Jones is understandable because he didn't take a snap in Minnesota last year. He was on the practice squad. They just brought him there. He ended up signing basically a 1-year prove-it deal similar to what Sam Darnold signed last year with the Colts. That one you can understand. How the hell do you let a 14-win quarterback who played at an MVP level for 15 of the 17 games leave your building? That is still only 27 years old. That is still young enough to be your franchise quarterback for the next 7 years.
Yeah.
I don't care if you drafted J.J. McCarthy number 10 overall. Jordan Love sat for 4 years before he got the starting job. Aaron Rodgers sat for 4 years before he got the starting job. Why could we have not given Sam Darnold a 3-year extension and let McCarthy sit for a few years behind Darnold? Because I'm not ready to call McCarthy a bust or anything yet, but he is Christian Ponder 2.0. He is terrible. Absolutely terrible. And the difference is we don't have Adrian Peterson that can bail his ass out.
I have no argument to that.
Tua Tagovailoa leads the NFL in interceptions this year with 13, I believe. McCarthy has 8 picks in 5 games. His completion percentage is 51.3%. He is averaging 158 yards passing per game, and he's only had 1 game above 170 yards passing.
You know what's bad?
He is terrible.
a 2025 Carson Wentz makes your offense look like it can function better than JJ McCarthy can.
Because the one difference is, and I think Minnesota's finally, they might never admit this, but I think they're finally realizing that JJ McCarthy is not the right fit for this offense. This offense is a vertical threat offense with guys like Jordan Addison, Jalen Nailor, and Justin Jefferson. You have 3 receivers that can stretch the field. You need a quarterback with a big arm that can stretch the field. McCarthy doesn't have that. And if you have 3 receivers that are known for stretching the field, and now you take them from the one thing that they do best and force them to do other stuff, the offense is pedestrian. And right now, you can't even get Justin Jefferson the ball because you can't read the coverages they're putting on him.
Yeah, let's go fantasy football.
Like, that's why I said it. Heading into the draft, Michael Penix was the best fit for this offense. He has a big arm. He had 2 guys in Roma Dunze and Jalen McMillan that basically play like Jefferson and Addison play. And he's got a quick release where if the offensive line isn't blocking, he can get rid of the ball quick. He was the perfect fit for this offense. And granted, I don't think anyone saw the Falcons taking him when they did. But if you're the Vikings and you've already seen 3 of the top 5 quarterbacks come off the board in the top 3 picks, you need to trade up around that number 6, number 7 spot to make sure you get your guy.
I agree.
And I said this morning to my uncle. I think O'Connell and Kwesi are coaching for their job and GMing for their job next year, knowing how much of a failure this season has gone. Because they basically put all their ducks in a row on JJ McCarthy. They gave up on Sam Darnold, who won 14 games last year. And they have a roster that is built to win right now. Not built to win in 3 years. So if you're trying to be patient with JJ McCarthy for another 3 years, Jefferson ain't going to wait 3 years. A lot of these guys that you have under contract, their contract is going to be up by the time that McCarthy figures it out. Like, your roster is built to win now, so you better hope to God that he shows improvement next year or you're gone.
Yeah, it's definitely a situation that I did not expect to unravel this quickly in Minnesota. I thought with a coach like Kevin O'Connell, JJ would at least look like a competent quarterback.
And that's the problem. Like, O'Connell's already pointed out all the flaws that McCarthy's had. Whether it comes to footwork, whether it comes to he's getting late reads or he's staying on his first read too long, and then by the time he checks off, it's too late to make that second or third read. And I'm okay with quarterbacks missing throws because they're going to miss throws, especially rookies. When McCarthy misses, he's missing by 10 or 15 yards. Like, he's just airmailing his receivers by 10 or 15 yards and not even getting the ball close. Like, that is something that you can't fix as a head coach. Like, if your quarterback can't even get the ball on target, there's nothing you can do as a head coach to fix that.
No. And again, you would never have known these issues when he was in Michigan because Michigan never really let him throw the football. They were a run-heavy offense, and he just had to make the throws that he was asked to make. We never saw them. They were an air raid offense. When he was in Michigan, they were a run-first team. And they kind of masked what he was unable to do in the pass game with a strong run game. And not to mention that he had one of the best defenses in the country at Michigan. So these are things you weren't able to in my opinion, fairly evaluate when you were going through the pre-draft process.
Yeah.
I mean, the prime example yesterday was you had a crossing route with Justin Jefferson, who started on the left side of the field, was wide open, cut all the way across the middle, wide open, and then he throws when the safety cuts in front of him and he gets picked off. I'm like, what are you waiting for? The guy's wide open running 35 yards across the middle of the field. Why are you waiting until the safety closes in?
Yeah, I had a similar play like that last night in the Eagles game. Hurts, it's 3rd and 15. Jalen steps back. Devontae Smith hits the freaking top of his route with at least 5 feet of separation from the closest defender, and Jalen just stared at him. Just stared at him. It's like, come on, man. Like,
I don't know what he saw at that moment from the pocket. Like, could he not see him? Like,
no. He saw him, but then he saw who was on the other side, who would have been mad if he didn't get the ball thrown to him.
Oh, man. Do you want to segue, Sam?
I don't know. You seem like you got a lot to say about A.J. Brown, too. So why don't you...
I think you should start this off.
Well, no, when we're done talking about the Eagles' offense, I want to stay on that Vikings-Bears game because I do want to talk about that on the other side of the ball from that game. So I want to stay on these two games right now. We'll talk about the Eagles' offense, then we'll bounce back into NFL Week 11, continuing the Vikings and Bears game. But Tyler, this Eagles' offense is still not. It's still like, and I understand what Espo is saying. Like, I completely understand what Espo is saying here. Trust me, 100%. And because he said the only reason why other teams look better than the Eagles is because other teams blow out teams and the Eagles would rather control time of possession. Yes, and I get that. It is annoying. It is a statistical fact, Espo. I get it. But this offense is way too freaking talented to only have 26 points in its last two games and only 2 touchdowns in its last 2 games. There's way too much damn talent on this team. So, what's up, Steven?
What's up, Steven?
All right, Tyler. So, you want to start us off with this Eagles offense?
Yeah, I'll kick it off. So, let's take a look at the Eagles' leading receiver this year, Devontae Smith, 665 receiving yards. He ended the game with 1 catch and was targeted 5 times.
Did have a couple drops.
Did have a couple drops, he did. A.J. Brown was targeted probably season high 11 times.
Never again.
Had 7 receptions for only 49 yards.
Oh.
All I saw was force the ball, force the ball, force the ball. And trust me, I don't think the rest of the offense was happy about it at all. I don't think Jalen Hurts was happy at all. I know he doesn't show much expressions or emotions, but he did not seem to be too impressed with having to force feed the ball to A.J. Brown.
Hey, Espo, I use that too, and I'm a lot better of an offensive coach in Madden than Kevin Patullo would be.
Oh my gosh, not the Madden suggestions.
Hey man, I had a top 3 offense every year using that. Leave me alone. What's up, Mikey?
What's up, Mikey? But we're at this
the
point.
fam is out about tonight
with A.J. Brown. We need to stop catering to his complaints. If he has a problem with the offense and him not getting the ball enough, cool. Get open, and if you get the ball, you get the ball. Because there's some weeks I see this offense has no problem moving the chains. And then other weeks, it's just a stalemate. Now, you know that the coaching staff, Kevin Patullo in particular, they took A.J. Brown's most recent interview comments to heart. Because what did we see? When we got that great field positioning, I believe it was from the 10-yard line off of the interception? First play, designed little screen to AJ. Goes nowhere.
And then the third down, the slant to AJ, which he slipped
because then second down, we're like, okay, let's hand it off to Saquon. Saquon doesn't go anywhere. Probably should have ran it on first down. Then you're stuck at a 3rd and long. Slant to AJ, 0 separation. Believe it hit off his fingertips and he dropped it. He was getting pulled a little bit.
No, he slipped.
Oh.
And lost his footing. So everyone's like, oh, Jalen overthrew him. No, Jalen threw a good ball. AJ literally slipped out of his freaking release.
I'm sorry. If AJ Brown wants to be considered to be one of the great wide receivers in the game today, I don't want to hear I slipped coming off my route.
Oh, I'm not even mad about that. I'm mad about the go route that he gave up on.
Another
do
go
not
route.
Tell me. Do not tell me, oh, he wasn't expecting the football. You can't make comments week after week and then say, oh, I wasn't expecting that to be my ball. What are we doing?
You know why Smitty has more long ball touchdowns this year and big plays? Because he hasn't given up on the play.
That's one way to look at it. That's a very And Espo is kind of proving my point here.
He is. I'm going to be completely bloodfully honest right now. At the end of the season, I want AJ Brown out the building. Smitty's our number one wide receiver. He can perform like a number one if he's treated as a number one. And we can find a suitable wide receiver too to play next year.
Or you can just go get Jefferson, who's probably going to ask for a trade.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad about that. We can come full circle.
Full circle.
Yeah.
And look, and first of all, we've said this for years, and I'm going to keep Espo's comment there. We've said Devontae Smith is a wide receiver one on a lot of teams. Yes. The only ones he's probably not is Cincinnati, Minnesota. Help me out here, guys.
It's not much more. I mean, maybe the Dolphins if they're fully healthy. I still think he's better than Waddle.
Probably Seattle.
Yeah. Smith.
I mean, GSN is doing his best to make it.
Well, you know what? I mean, they did kind of like just trade away all the receivers to just make it him as the focal point. What if the Eagles did that? Maybe Smitty has the same numbers. I mean, he won the Heisman in college.
Now, let me ask you this. If they were to move on from AJ, and I can't believe I'm having this freaking conversation.
It's going to happen.
Again. It is going to happen. Are we going to revisit a potential new deal for Dallas Goedert? Because I'm not. You're going to need some more veteran pass Goedert.
If Dallas Goedert continues on his trend of having a healthy season,
I mean, he is the one thing that Kevin Patullo has actually done pretty well with.
Yeah, I don't see. We definitely need to bring him back for either another 1 or 2 year deal. We got to bring him back again. Because I don't even see it as an if scenario. A.J. Brown, by the end of the season, he will be on a new team. It's what he wants.
So, if A.J. Brown is on a new team, this would be your options for available wide receivers. As of now, obviously things can change if people sign or whatever. But as of now, this would be your available options for wide receiver heading into free agency. Mike Evans, Christian Kirk, Deebo Samuel, Jacoby Myers, and a long list of others. Any one of those top four would be a good fit.
Jacoby Myers as a wide receiver too. But honestly, it comes back to I still don't know if I trust Patullo for another year.
Yeah.
Now I know it's not all on him. I know it's not.
No. I'm just no. I'm not even there. No, I wasn't going to say that. I'm going to say, do you not remember the last time a rookie offensive coordinator did this crap? He got the boot. They keep this up for the rest of the season. Ken Patullo is going to be job hunting at Dick's Sporting Goods. Hold on. George. The problem here is when you said this 2 seasons ago.
Oh, yeah. That was ridiculous.
But context matters here. And it's not that AJ wasn't never. George, you're trying to make it sound like AJ's never been. AJ was a top 3 wide receiver in football in 2022 and 2023.
Yeah.
But I will tell you right now, I'm about to set the freaking airways because you know what? Some people don't like to have honesty. Some people just like to live in la-la land. Do you want me to tell you the biggest issue that I see right now? AJ Brown looks 2 steps slower.
It does.
It looks like, okay, I didn't want to say that earlier this year, but it looks like he's put on like 20 pounds of fat, not muscle. In his
AJ Brown looks like he can't run.
That, but I said in the beginning of the season when we saw the struggles from him, I said he does not look 100%.
And I gave him that in the beginning of the year because even all right, week 1 catch, 8 yards. The guy missed almost 3 weeks of training camp with a hamstring injury. I understand that. He had the hamstring injury earlier, but dude, he looks slow. Like he looks like he's walking in cement.
We're in week 11. I haven't seen this whole year. I've said probably almost every week, I don't see AJ Brown getting separation. It's one thing if we hear the complaints from him and you see nothing but on tape he's just wide open. and not getting the ball, he's rarely open. He has no separation on his man. The only chance of him getting the ball and Hurts getting him the ball is throwing a high point pass to him so it doesn't get picked off.
Jalen has had to literally throw the perfect football for AJ to catch deep ball this year. AJ is creating no separation.
Yeah, and then people want to get mad when he overthrows AJ on the sideline, but his defender's draped right next to him. Do you want him to underthrow it and throw a pick? Like,
I'm sorry,
supposed to work with.
And because if he underthrows it, I'm sorry. I don't know if AJ's that type of teammate to say, oh, here, I'll play defensive back and knock the ball down.
You know who actually got a little bit of separation last night? Kylan Granson. And the ball hit him in the stomach and he dropped it.
That a boy.
It was a good throw. Granson just has to make the... I don't know if I'm throwing that to a third-string tight end now, but...
Yeah, that's the other problem, but... I mean... When you don't have many other options, then what are you going to do?
The offense has... And again, I'm going to say this as well. The offense has looked better. Now, don't get me wrong. The offense has not looked good at all most of the season. But the offense has looked better when Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert are more involved than A.J. Brown. You can hate me for saying it. You can hate me for whatever you want. But it has been true. A.J. Brown does not look like the same player he was in 2022. He sure as hell doesn't look like the same guy that had 6 straight weeks of 125 receiving yards in 2023. And he doesn't even look like the player he was last year.
Here's the problem. He's had too many of those nagging lower body injuries that he just has never recovered from.
When the Titans traded him, that was brought up. And Espo says it here. Jalen handed AJ his stardom on a silver platter, and now he's biting the hand that feeds him. Hurts clearly doesn't want to feed someone who doesn't care about winning being I mean,
I wouldn't necessarily say that because AJ Brown was a top 5 receiver with the Titans when he first came in.
Yes, but
he made a name. He made a name for himself in Tennessee with a lack of talent.
Yeah. And again, and guess what? The same thing happened out there. He was pissed off because he was in a run-heavy offense, and now he's pissed off. Here's the thing. Regardless of your opinions of Kevin Batula, bad OC? Sure, I would 100% agree. I don't think he's been good at all. He's had moments. Rams second half, great. Vikings game, pretty good. Giants second game, amazing. It's funny how their best offensive performance came the only game AJ didn't play. I don't care. And don't tell me, oh, it's just the Giants. The Giants just beat the crap out of the Eagles 2 weeks prior.
Yeah.
With AJ Brown. Or do we forget that? I know, and Dustin, I agree with what you're saying completely. In Tennessee, he was great, but his best years have come here. So for all the idiots that like to say, Jalen Hurts has ruined A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts has given A.J. Brown the best numbers of his career. A.J. Brown looks like he is on that era where maybe I have to be a wide receiver too.
You know what? I can honestly see. Tell me if this would be a fair trade, right? Call up New England. He's got the ties with Vrabel. Can we just swap AJ for Stephon Diggs?
Oh, good Lord.
What else do they need in return to make that happen? Because obviously Diggs is having a better year coming off of an ACL injury.
Dude, I'll take Demario Douglas, man. Give me Demario Douglas or Keyshawn Boutte. Hey, them boys are playing over there. Hell, no, you know what? I'll draft another wide receiver so I can keep the... It seems like we draft receivers pretty well.
Nelson Aguilar? J.J. Arcega-Whiteside? I don't know, Sam.
Devontae Smith, Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin.
Okay. I'm just saying there's some rough patches.
Shut up, Dustin.
In between. I forgot one. Jalen Reagor. I forgot the biggest one. In that wide receiver heavy draft, we took the worst one.
Hey, it was the turning point of an organization. Shut up.
You're right, exactly. And I still can't be mad about it. So,
and no, wait. Now, hold on. Espo. Pump the brakes. AJ was a really good wide receiver in Tennessee. You didn't realize it because they had a freaking guy in the backfield running for 1,900 a season.
That's the argument I hate when people say that he wasn't a top 5 receiver in Tennessee. Just because his numbers don't show that doesn't mean he wasn't a top 5 receiver. You were with prime Derrick Henry in Tennessee, who was going to have more rushing yards then any wide receiver on that team was going to have receiving yards. So it didn't matter how well you played, you were going to get overshadowed by Derrick Henry every single time. And I think that was another reason why Brown wanted out, because he didn't want to be overshadowed by Derrick Henry. Because, and I'm all for players getting the bag like when they get their first big contract. But had Brown not got traded to Tennessee, I don't think he gets paid what he gets paid, because his numbers that he had in Tennessee weren't $30 million a year numbers. They were $15 to $17 million in a year numbers, because he was putting up 1,100 yards, but Derrick Henry was putting up 1,800 yards. Had he put up 1,400 or 1,500 yards with Derrick Henry, then you're looking at him getting a bigger payday. But I think that was the biggest reason why he wanted out, was because he wanted a big contract and he knew he wasn't going to get what he thought he was worth staying in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And Espo, I have been saying this since last year. I don't know if Jahan Dotson is a good wide receiver too in this league. I don't think we're ever going to fully know that. What I will say is Jahan Dotson is a good wide receiver 3 if he's put on the outside. Jahan Dotson is not a slot wide receiver. I have watched every single freaking snap he has played in his career, from Penn State to Washington to Philadelphia. He is not a slot wide receiver. You know who may be turning into a slot wide receiver? And that's A.J. Brown.
How can you do that when you can't run routes?
Yeah, A.J. Brown is too big and too slow to be a slot receiver.
Yeah.
Trying to be nice here, guys.
You need to be able to make some quick cuts as a slot receiver. I haven't seen him do anything quick besides complain on Instagram.
Well, you heard Jeffrey Lurie had a meeting with him this week, and he said, "You got to tone this stuff's got to get toned down. It's got to get toned down quick."
Yep.
Good. And guess what else needs to get toned down? Kevin Patullo trying to cater to him. Because if I see the ball forced to him again next week, I'm gonna be out on them.
I love the guy. I was ecstatic. We were out there in the freaking other room doing our draft show when that trade went down. We almost broke the furniture. How happy we were when that happened. He has easily been one of the biggest reasons why we have been this successful. But this offense, it's been like this since day one. Yes, AJ puts up the best numbers because he was the number 1 wide receiver. He was playing out of his mind. This offense, which I'm going to say this one more time, this is not Kevin Patullo's offense.
Nope.
It was not Kellen Moore's offense.
Nope.
It was not Brian Johnson's, and it wasn't Shane Steichen's. It is Nick Sirianni's offense. They have put wrinkles in it to make it work, because I hate to break this to everybody, since Nick Sirianni came here, our passing offense has been inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
It's been like this for 4 to 5 years now. The only reason last year looked so good, it kind of helps when you're running the football for 180 yards a game. Now that you're not doing that, you got to figure out other ways to win football games, which right now it is, let's just make sure the other team doesn't score more than 10 points.
I think the other big thing too is it doesn't help when you have 4 different offensive coordinators in 5 years, though.
It doesn't.
You can't keep changing play callers every year and expect this offense to be in a rhythm. The reason why the Eagles' offense was much better last year, and granted Saquon Barkley did play a big role in that, it was because it was Kellen Moore's second year calling plays with that team, I believe.
And Kellen was only with us for last year.
Okay, so it was his first year, but Kellen Moore still had 9 years of play calling experience with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So
I remember last year during the offseason, Jalen Hurts, probably the only time I ever heard him say this, was that Kellen Moore's offense was the easiest for him to pick up.
Like, he's got 9 years of play calling experience. Now you got a guy in Kevin Patullo. He's never called plays before. This is his first year calling plays. When Shane Steichen was calling plays, that was his first year calling plays. Like, it, much like a rookie quarterback, where it could take a rookie quarterback 10, 12, sometimes a full season to figure things out. A first-time play caller, it's going to take a first-time play caller a long time to kind of figure out how to run an offense, how to call plays that best suit his offense. Yes, Kevin Patullo has not done a great job this year, but he's still a first-year play caller, and I think people do need to cut him some slack on that, because he's still trying to figure out how to call the best plays possible, being this as his first time as a play caller. Now, if
And
he
I
comes
didn't
out
even
and
know
does
this.
it next year, then you can be like, okay, he shouldn't be here anymore if he does the same thing next year.
This is still better than Brian Johnson, so
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
Like the prime
Is
example,
it?
the prime
Is
example
it?
is Luke Getzey. When Luke Getzey got the offensive coordinator job in Chicago, like his first year with the Bears, the offense was ranked 31 in the NFL. But they cut him some slack because he was a first-year play caller, and they're like, okay, this is your first year with Justin Fields. You came from Aaron Rodgers. Like, it's two different style quarterbacks. You kind of got to figure it out. Then the next year, 7 games into the season, their offense was still dead last. So they're like, yeah, you're terrible.
Yeah, and I think after the year, if the offense continues to wait, where was the one that Espo said a second ago? Third string tight end, a backup tight end is outside, split outside, and then you have the one play where Jalen's under center, Saquon is to the left of him. Why? What in God's green earth are we doing? And like Dustin said, it is when you have an experienced play caller, it matters. Kellen Moore had all those years. Even Shane Steichen. I thought Steichen was an OC a lot longer before he took the Eagles job. Shane Steichen only became an offensive coordinator in 2019.
Yeah.
He was the interim OC for the Chargers that year, and he had the full year in 20, and then he came to Philly. So he was even only a play caller for about a year and a half. But still, why they didn't understand the mistake the first time, I never understood. It's just like, oh, well, they played in the Super Bowl. The hiring process it's just lazy. I don't care. Just find someone who's experienced. Literally, how Frank Reich has not gotten a phone call. I'm sorry, did he not get Nick Sirianni the damn job here?
I don't think he got a phone call because I don't really know if he wants to coach anymore after what happened in Carolina.
Well, I mean, he's coaching Stanford this year.
That's what I'm saying, though. I don't think he wants to come back to the NFL after what happened and how his kind of tenure happened in Indianapolis. He gets fired. Carolina, not Indy. He gets fired 10 games into the season. It's just like, I literally haven't even had a full year here to get my team situated. And you're firing me because Bryce Young is 5'0" and can't see over the offensive line.
And this is the one thing I can't stand about Eagles fans talking about 2023. 2023 was lost because that defense was god-awful down the stretch.
That's why Sean Desai got the axe.
Sean Desai, Matt Patricia. But, oh, wait. Listen to this real quick. This just came out last night. I forgot to bring this up. Because now we're on to a new blame. And I want to say something right now. I have got an upfound most respect for Derek Gunn, one of the best Eagles insiders that I ever listened to. What he said last night is I don't appreciate some people thinking that they're trying to become relevant in their field again. Here's what Derek Gunn said. Lots of people in the Eagles organization there are a lot of people in the organization that are frustrated with the quarterback situation, comparing it to a Carson Wentz 2.0 situation. That's where we're at.
Are you kidding me?
2 NFC championships, a Super Bowl win, 4 straight 11. Looking to be onto our 4th straight at least 11-win season. Constantly NFC contenders, regardless of how it looks, and we don't deserve any of this. Because all the media in this city wants to do is tear this thing down. They want to win a Super Bowl and rebuild the next year. We don't deserve longevity because this city will drive everything out of the town. First of all, Carson Wentz doesn't have a winning bone in his body compared to Jalen freaking Hurts.
Yeah. So I would just like to point something out that
Can I say one more thing before you go?
Yeah, come on.
If Carson Wentz was the guy that the whole city thought he was, Jalen Hurts wouldn't be the starter right now. But he wasn't.
Yeah. They would have ultimately probably traded Jalen Hurts at some point.
And who's saying this? Me.
Yep. Sam, the profound first-year Jalen Hurts hater.
I'd say it took about 2 years. All right.
So I just want to point out that with all these offensive struggles,
Let's go
currently
100%.
currently Jalen Hurts has 5 yards shy of 2,000 passing yards on the year. Not a passing offense. You're not going to see the Josh Allen, Justin Herbert numbers.
Mm-hmm.
He's averaging 7.4 yards per pass, 16 passing touchdowns, one interception. One interception. And people are complaining and pinpointing him. He's completing 67% of his passes, which honestly, I think last night was like probably his worst game of the season, pass completion wise.
Yeah.
And it was a
He
rough
wasn't.
start. And it's funny that he had a rough night completing passes, considering that he had to force the ball to AJ Brown half the night.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It's almost like it's hard to be an efficient quarterback when you have to forcefully get someone the ball so they can shut up.
This offense is not designed to cater to a player. This offense is designed for Jalen Hurts to get the football where it's supposed to go. If it's the Dallas Goedert, so be it. If it's the Devontae Smith, so be it. If it's the Jahan Dotson, so be it. If it's the Saquon Barkley, the Tank Bigsby, so be it. If it's the A.J. Brown, so be it. Let the game come to you. Not to mention, by the way, Tyler, the other thing, I don't know if you brought this up, Jalen's also enjoying the best passer rating he's had in his career.
You're right, I didn't bring that up. I forgot to mention that.
At 107.
But now, there's a quarterback issue in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
It's like people forget the Sam Bradford years. The early Nick Foles years.
You want to start? No. You want to start the 609 Sports Talk Radio era by bringing up Sam freaking Bradford?
Yeah, because hopefully I can trigger other people like I triggered you. People act like we're in a rut.
I mean, guess where Sam Bradford had the best year of his career? Oh yeah, that's right, Minnesota, but they moved on from his ass too.
You know who else had a career year in Minnesota? Case Keenum.
Yeah, and guess what? We moved on from his ass too.
That was actually a good decision.
Was it though?
What?
I don't think he really.
Keenum was a system quarterback. Minnesota had the system for him. So was it smart that they moved on from him? Because you see that all the time where sometimes it takes a quarterback 5, 6, 7 years to finally be good because they get into a system that's catered to them. And I will say that Mac Jones is a prime example of that this year. Yeah. Mac Jones had an okay rookie season with the Patriots, got him to the playoffs, but still didn't put up great numbers.
Geno Smith in Seattle,
system quarterback, does great in Seattle with Brian Schottenheimer as the OC, goes to the Raiders. Not nearly the same guy. Mac Jones is in San Francisco now with Kyle Shanahan, and he looks like the Mac Jones the Patriots thought they were going to get when they drafted him, because this is the system that fits Mac Jones' strength. If you have a quarterback that plays well in your system, you don't get rid of him just because he had a breakout year. It's because maybe you finally find the guy that can run your system.
Yep.
We are slowly, I think we are not slowly, we are quickly getting into an era of quarterbacks coaching is the most important thing to an NFL team.
Has it not always been?
That's not to some idiots it hasn't been. Yes, George.
To a point it has, but there are certain cases where coaching doesn't matter.
And dude, over the past week, I'm hearing people. I've heard it again. I've heard we're firing Sirianni again. Tanner McKee should be starting. What are we doing? They're 8-2.
Yeah.
They own wins at Kansas City, at Tampa Bay, which they haven't been able to win there in freaking forever, it feels like. Against the Lions, against the Packers at Lambeau.
Stefanski was not the OC in Minnesota when Case Keenum was there. Stefanski was the quarterback coach. The OC was Gary Kubiak.
Oh, God.
And Sam, another great thing that came out from Eagles fans. Hire Brian Dable and demote Patullo. You're an 8-2 team sitting toward the top of your conference. Why are you going to change an offensive
Don't rule
coordinator?
that out of the possibility for 2026.
I wouldn't. And honestly, an experienced offensive coordinator like Dable, they may force Nick Sirianni to have him as his OC.
Sirianni tried to get Dable to be his OC before Dable took the Giants job.
They forced Nick to hire Kellen Moore, guys.
Yeah, exactly. But then they gave him the reins to go out and get his guy again.
Yeah, but
it's not working out.
Sirianni tried to get Dable before Dable took the Giants job. That's who he ultimately wanted as his initial OC.
And then Dable didn't want really anything to do with Philly at the time because he didn't know the situation was great.
I wouldn't mind if they brought in Dable as like an assistant for the rest of this year.
He won't do anything the rest of this year.
Somebody that would be interesting for that would be Doug Peterson. Because he was asked in an interview if he would consider taking like an advisory role. And he said, if I was asked, that's for somebody who hasn't been like Dable got fired. He's done for the year. He's going to wait.
Yeah.
But no, an experienced offensive coordinator has to be the first thing whenever the season comes to an end. Because Ken Patullo's not it. Solid pass game coordinator. Keyword solid, not great, but again, Sirianni's offense. Nobody wants to keep admitting that, but it's true. But this offense, and I know the theme of the team, don't turn the football over. They are. That's what they do. They're a little complacent. They don't want to take big shots and make mistakes. And I think a lot of that is Nick having issues with 2023. Like, wow, if we turn the football over, then look what happened. Here's the thing. If Jalen Hurts throws an interception at the 5-yard line inside the red zone, there's a good chance within 2 minutes later, Vic Fangio is going to get the football back. That's why, I'm sorry, last thing before we move on back to our NFL Week 11 stuff. 4th and inches at your own 29-yard line. What the hell are we doing?
No idea.
It's 4th and inches. You're up by freaking 10. Just put the ball away. Make the Lions go down the field.
Yeah.
You were in Jared Goff's face all night.
At least you're not as dumb as Dan Quinn and Mike McDaniel in the fourth quarter.
I don't really say Dan Quinn is dumb because that's what he's done. That's who he is. What you saw last night from Dan Quinn, Dan Quinn. I thought you said Dan Campbell. I'm sorry.
No, Dan Quinn. The guy, game was tied 13-13. They both go for it on 4th down from the 2 instead of kicking the field goal. The game never should have went to overtime. 4th down and 3 for the Commanders on the 3. We're not kicking the field goal. We go for it. We get stuffed. Dolphins go 96 yards down the field. 4th down from the 4. Let's not kick the field goal. Let's go for it. We get stuffed. Oh, we go to overtime. How dumb are you?
Oh, man.
Funny thing is, though, since the Dolphins fired their GM, they're 3-1. So apparently,
actually, no, I want to stick to my guns still. What I was saying, even though I was mistaken who you were talking about. Dan Quinn's done that a little bit in Washington. He does go for it too. Some of these guys just they are.
Yeah, honestly, nothing about the Lions' play calling decisions on those 4th down plays shocked me at all.
No,
that's Dan Campbell's character.
It's more of a credit to Vic Fangio for realizing it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, everybody on that defensive unit balled out last night. Quinyon Mitchell was amazing. Adoree Jackson was really good. Not amazing, but really good. Multiple pass breakups. He was covering Amon-Ra a lot, and he held his own. Listen.
Now, Amon-Ra had a couple of drops last night, but he was targeted 12 times and only got 2 catches.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs averaged 3.3 yards a carry. Yes, he had 103 receiving yards, but he's Jahmyr Gibbs. You're only going to stop. Exactly. You're only going to stop him one way.
Yeah, you're not going to stop both ways.
And Jared Goff was 14 for 37. 14 for 37.
Yeah.
But all I get talked about today is Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. Who was 14 for 28, but he's the problem.
By the way, the one I think it was the fourth down at the 3-yard line that Goff threw the incompletion in the back of the end zone. Did you see what Jalen Phillips did to Penei Sewell on that play?
No. I was too busy
Right on
watching.
by him.
Really? Wow.
All I'll say again, don't you ever tell me that man is better than Lane Johnson, which now we got to worry about that for 6 weeks.
Well, he's healthier than Lane Johnson.
Yeah, well. Time for Big Fred to step up.
Yeah, which honestly, this is why they brought him back. And I'm so glad that they did it early in the year. They saw that they needed solid experience as a backup tackle, and they went and got the guy who brought that all of last year.
Calling Amon-Ra overrated is
Whoa, 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 whoa. Come on now.
He's not overrated. He's not the best receiver in the NFL.
He's not the best receiver in the NFL, but he's probably one of the 2 best route runners in the NFL. The guy's routes are ridiculous.
And again, like I said, don't be calling these guys. I don't want to call these guys overrated. Amon-Ra's a great wide receiver. Credit where the credit is due. Vic Fangio just held over the past 4 years. Well, no, I'll say 3 years. One of the best offenses in football to 9 points, and it should have been 6. If Nick Sirianni didn't decide to act like he was a know-it-all and say, we're going to we only failed the tush push 4 times in a row. Let's try a 5th, shall we?
Yeah.
But look, at the end of the day, they won another ugly football game. Nick Sirianni has one of the best winning percentages amongst head coaches since he was hired. The 2021 head coaching cycle. You know how many coaches are left from that? 2. They both played Sunday night last night.
Oh. Forgot that.
You want me to tell you the other? So for all the idiots out there that say, what a overrated head coach Nick Sirianni is, and Jalen Hurts. Here's the other thing I love with Jalen Hurts, right? Oh, Jalen Hurts has got a super team. What is the first thing people say after they draft a quarterback? How are they going to build around him? So now it's bad because we build around him?
There's just always going to be something to hate on about this team.
Real quickly, do you want me to bring up to you the 2021 head coaching cycle?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So Nick Sirianni was hired by the Eagles. We know that. Robert Saleh with the Jets. Arthur Smith with the Falcons. Brandon Staley with the Chargers. David Culley with the Texans. And Urban Meyer with the Jaguars.
Oh, man.
So for all the idiots out there that like to say, Nick Sirianni's not this, he's not that. Would you like to go be a fan of one of these other franchises? So please, knock it off and miss me with this crap. Nick Sirianni has the best winning percentage amongst NFL head coaches. Nick Sirianni has given you the best football since Andy Reid, and honestly has actually had a little more success than Andy Reid.
Yes.
Because Sirianni's got a ring to show for it. Andy Reid had nothing to show for it.
Actually, and who did Nick Sirianni beat for his Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
Andy.
By the way, a little Monday night action for you. CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens both benched for Dallas's opening drive. They were not on the field for a 3-and-out, so they were benched to start the game.
Wow.
George Pickens benched for being disciplined. Where have I heard that before?
George Pickens.
Espo said, I remain firm that Joe Flacco single-handedly exposed Joe Burrow for being carried. If they have my quarterback being carried, they keep the same energy. Yeah.
I mean, he's not being carried. Joe Flacco was one of the best starting quarterbacks in the NFL for 12 years with no wide receiver weapons.
Yeah.
41 years old or not, he's finally got two good receivers.
He got some good wide receivers. He's
Yeah,
like,
he's
"Ooh,
finally,
this
for
is
the
nice."
first time, it took him 17 years, but for the first time in his career, he has legitimate wide receivers to throw to. In his 13 years with the Ravens, he had one 1,000-yard receiver, and can you name who that receiver was?
It wasn't Anquan Bolden.
Nope, because that was
Steve
back
Smith.
on the. Nope.
Torrey Smith?
Yes. Torrey Smith, 1,086 yards.
Wow.
Super Bowl 52 champion.
Yep. Steve Smith's high with the Ravens, I think, was like 780 something, and Bolden was like 914 and 862.
I was gonna say Mason. I was gonna say Mason at first, but I was like, he was too old at that point.
Yeah, so like this is the first time that Joe Flacco's had like two legitimate 1,000-yard receivers, and it goes to show it doesn't matter how old you are if you have two guys that can catch the ball.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Flacco can still throw it.
Oh yeah. Nah, Espo, it was Torrey Smith. Good guy. I was gonna say Mason too, but once again, by the time Flacco got there, Mason was on the way out. He was old. But all right, since we're already since we're talking about that, let's jump into some NFL Week 11. Shall we recap the boxing match between Jalen Ramsey and Jamar Chase?
Are you sure it wasn't a spitting match?
Oh, Jamar Chase is regretting that after you saw his fine and everything today.
Yep.
Holy moly. That is the most
500,000.
expensive piece of saliva.
Jalen Carter had to do the same thing. The only thing Jalen Carter was smart about is he shot his loogie out before a snap, so he was already suspended technically.
How much did Jalen Carter get fined?
It wasn't that much.
Jalen Carter got fined $50K. Jamar Chase got fined $500K.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap!
That is the most expensive piece of saliva that anyone has let fly.
They said, Jamar Chase, you're in a different tax bracket, buddy.
Like Jalen Carter got a $50,000 fine. Jamar Chase is $500K.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase is somewhere saying, "Damn, I knew I should have asked for that damn extension." Hey Tyler, here's what you're gonna love to see. What's up, Tim?
What's up, Tim?
I just saw Tim the other day. Espo said, my point is that everyone says every quarterback can have gaudy numbers with the Eagles, but they only what if it actually happened is if the Bengals would Joe Flacco. Hey, you're not wrong.
So Jamar Chase missing one game will cost him $448,333, which is 1/18 of his base salary, plus another $58,000 for his per game roster bonus. He's also been fined an additional $91,000 for the past incidents he's had, bringing his grand total to $546,000.
Wow.
Was Ramsey disciplined at all?
No, just the one.
He got
game
suspended.
He got suspended. Yeah. I don't even know. I don't think he even is going to get fined once the video came out that he was actually spit on.
Yeah.
He was going to get a fine, but I don't think he ended up getting fined. I think it's just a 1-game suspension.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I was just curious. I mean, again, if you spit on me, we're throwing hands. I don't care what you do.
And then Jamar Chase is appealing his suspension. I'm like, dude, what are you appealing? Like, the video has you spitting, so
caught in 4K, buddy. Good luck.
And Jordy Nelson is actually hearing his suspension, so I'm like, you think Jordy Nelson's going to overturn it? No, because that was one of the more well-mannered receivers that didn't do anything wrong.
Yep.
All right. Tim brings up such a great point here with Sirianni real quick. One more word about Sirianni. I think he's done pretty well in spite of the wealth of assistant coaches he's had over his time so far in Philly. And Tim, that is the perfect comment because you saw early in his tenure, Nick Sirianni already knew. I'm not an offensive play caller. Shane, here you go. He is what we call a CEO coach. He sets a culture in that locker room. And no matter what has happened, all the controversy between A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts, all the turmoil that this locker room apparently has gone through over the past 4 years with him, guess what? They still win at a very high level. They are still NFC contenders. This team, their worst year under Nick Sirianni, they were 11-6.
Yeah.
And if they even had a competent defense, they probably would have made it a little bit farther.
Yeah, they would have.
And now they're once again 8-2. And I'm sorry, how many games over the Chip Kelly and Doug Pearson era did we used to lose by one possession? It feels
Too
like
many.
since, yeah. And this is where I kind of understand the philosophy. People are like, oh, one turnover can mean the game. Well, Nick Sirianni's goal is to have that one turnover not happen. So you can hate him all you want. Nick Sirianni is one of the winningest head coaches in football, and he's got the Eagles as a premier contender every year. I don't care how it looks. I don't care if they go out to Dallas next week. I don't care if we win 2-0 on a safety. That just means that Vic Fangio's getting a huge raise in after the season.
Oh, yeah.
Tim also said, I think that when he was hired, there were more experienced coaches available.
Oh, yeah.
Tim, before Sirianni, do we remember who almost was the head coach? Josh McDaniels.
Oh.
Because remember Jeffrey Lurie, him and Kraft are good friends. He always wanted to bring some of that Patriot blood over here. And who knows what would have happened if we hired McDaniels.
I know what would have happened. We would have sucked. And he would have went back to being an offensive coordinator, what he's good at.
Yep. He's the one guy
Right.
that I honestly don't think he'll ever put his name in for a head coaching job again. I think unless it's in the college ranks, I think he's come to the realization that he's like, yeah, I'm better served as an OC. I'm just going to stay right where I'm at in England.
So you're saying the Eagles could poach him for their OC?
No, I don't think he'll leave New England. Because the only place that he's actually had any success his entire career was with New England.
Exactly.
That's literally the only place he's had success.
Exactly. And why would you leave? That situation is looking better by the second. I mean, Drake May, Mike Vrabel's coaching that team. Their defense is top of the line, and it's getting better every week. Now they lost Milton Williams for 4 weeks, it looks like, so that's going to be a tough blow. But, I mean, they're just playing at a high level. Vrabel has reinstalled that Patriots culture that they've been lacking since over the past year or two. But let's pop into the NFL now. Let's go into some things around Week 11. Anybody got anything they specifically would like to talk about? Because I got something to start off with.
Tampa Bay Buffalo.
Oh, what a shootout!
The final scoreline had some distance, but for the majority of that game, just a back and forth lead change after lead change.
Yeah.
So the Bills proved one thing to me yesterday. Their team's success solely hinges on Josh Allen because of the lack of talent around him.
I mean, Keon Coleman was a healthy scratch yesterday.
Yeah. Shakir's your number one. And he had, let me go all the way down the receiving list here. 1 catch for -3 yards. And he's supposed to be your number one receiver.
Lovely.
James Cook was your second leading receiver. 3 catches for 66 yards. And they're not running the ball well. So it's literally, if Josh Allen can't carry that team, they go nowhere. And they're going to get exposed in the playoffs.
James Cook is third in the NFL in rushing, though.
But how good has he been recently? Earlier in the year, he was on a tear. But I feel like he slowed down a lot in the last, 3 weeks or so.
The Bills just haven't looked very impressive at all. Ever since that game against Atlanta, they haven't looked good.
The Miami game, I'm not counting James Cook because Buffalo fell behind so big so early. They had no choice but to pass the ball in that game. So James Cook wasn't going to get his touches. If that was a closer game, James Cook runs for over 100 yards in that game. It's just the fact that Buffalo fell behind by 16 points at halftime. They had no choice but to abandon the run at that point. Tampa Bay, for the most part, has always had a good run defense. So you knew yards were going to be hard for James Cook to come by yesterday.
Yeah.
But James Cook got involved other ways yesterday, which is something that he's always been good at also.
Thank you, Espo, for proving my point even more. Eagles are 23-7 against teams with a winning record in the regular season since 2022. Their winning percentage 767. Just a little bit higher to the second best Bills at 625, despite playing 6 more games. And I believe, Espo, one of those games came against the Bills in 2023 when Jalen just outdueled Josh Allen, which is still think that was Jalen's best game of his career.
Oh yeah, the comeback overtime win.
Jake Elliott 60-yarder in the rain.
Oh yeah,
52 yards.
Sorry. I'm used to kicking a nail on 60+ yards and just being I still haven't forgotten the 60-yarder against the Giants back all the way in 2017.
I won my fantasy game by 0.21 points because of that field goal.
I gotta love Jake the Make.
It was a 6-point field goal.
Shout out Jake Elliott, by the way, last night. Perfect kicking in that weather last night. Shout out, man. And shout out Jameson Williams for being stupid on his touchdown and costing the Lions a PAT.
Yeah, pushed them back a little bit too far and all that wind.
Shout out for the referees for still being stupid. Just let the players celebrate and have fun. Jesus.
Yeah,
that game was okay. I've got 4 issues in that game. Number 1 is calling that a penalty. Like you said, let the guy play, man. These guys are playing for the game they love. Number 2, Eagles fan to the fullest. I will always support my team no matter what. There's no way that was pass interference on Rocky Sin on A.J. Brown.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
If anything, it's offensive pass interference.
Yeah.
Should have been a no call.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to call it on Rocky Sin, you got to call it on A.J. Brown.
Like if you're both hand fighting with each other, you got to just let it play out as a referee.
You let it play or you throw 2 flags, one on each side. You can't just call it on one because honestly, if you look at that, A.J. Brown pushed off more than Rocky Sin was hand fighting.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Then the ridiculous low block penalty on AJ when he's clearly tripped.
He was falling.
Yeah, like the guy's falling. What do you want him to do?
Do you want him to just pause himself, readjust so he doesn't hit the player?
Well, it's like Micah Parsons last week against when they played the Packers. You're telling me he didn't trip Saquon Barkley on purpose? Man stuck his big old left leg right in front of him so he couldn't get past it.
I mean, he got fined, so.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to be that guy, but on the tush push, what was it? The 4th and 1 or 4th and inches. And Steen was trying to get the refs to realize that their defensive tackle had his whole hand across the ball.
The Lions guy was so smart for that. So smart.
It was, because that's not something they can go back and review. Once they make the call, they make the call. That's it. Doesn't matter if it's right on replay.
The Lions guy was so smart for that. As soon as the offensive line shows any movement, they always tell you to jump.
Yep.
It just, again, it was not a terribly officiated game. It was just some calls were just blatantly bad.
Yeah.
The one call that I hated over the weekend, and I understand it's a rule for safety, is when they called a penalty on Sean Payton. Sean Payton's just standing there, and the ref runs into him and bounces off of him and rolls 5 yards away, and yet Payton's the one that gets the flag. It's just he wasn't even moving. You're the one that ran into him. It's a good tackle though by Sean Payton. I got to give him credit for that.
Oh yeah.
62 years old, still out there making plays.
Hey man, how about that Broncos team, man? It looks like the West is theirs to lose.
First round exit.
I ain't there yet.
No, they're a first round exit.
With that defense, I don't know. That defense could win you a playoff game.
If you look at their stats for the whole year, through 3 quarters, so the quarters 1 through 3, Denver's offense is ranked 30th in the NFL. They're 31st in points. They're 29th in yards.
Which is
number 4. Number 4, they're the number 1 offense in football. So they play well in the 4th quarter, but come the playoffs, you can't afford to play crappy football for 3 quarters.
But I will say that game yesterday, I was able to see the ending of it. Broncos receiver Franklin got away with a little bit of a push-off separation that was not called. At that point, I immediately knew, oh, yeah, the NFL, they don't care about catering to the Chiefs this year. It's over.
No.
They got called out for it last year. They're not doing it anymore. So I was surprised there was no pass interference called on the offense. The play held up. It got them into field goal range because they were on like a 3rd and long outside of field goal range. They don't get that play. Who knows what happens? Goes to overtime. Patrick Mahomes might beat him in overtime.
The Chiefs do not look, even with Rashee Rice and Worthy and Kelsey, like they have the personnel to compete with any of these teams in the AFC.
They're not a contender to me.
I can't say that. I can't say that. We said that last year about the Chiefs.
No,
They were 6-5. They were 6-5 last year, and they won their final 6 games of the season because once that calendar flips to December, they flip the switch.
Yeah,
And I've said this about the Chiefs the last 3 years. I compare them to kind of the Golden State Warriors when the Golden State Warriors were on their run. The regular season meant nothing for them. They went through the motions for about 60 games. But then once they got to March, they're like, okay, now we got to start getting ready for the playoffs. They flipped the switch, got into the playoffs, and then they just steamrolled through the playoffs. Kansas City Chiefs are the same kind of team for me. Like the first 12 weeks of the regular season, they're going to go through the motions. They're going to do what they have to do to remain in the playoff hunt. As soon as that calendar flips to December, it's like, all right, it's playoff time.
Wait, they were 6-5 at one point last year.
They were 6-4 or 6-5 at one point last year.
They only lost 2 games in the regular season last year.
Was that 2 years ago?
Might have been 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago they were 2 years ago they were 6-4 like through 10 games, and then the rest of the season they went like 6-1. So like the Chiefs have been in this spot before where they've been kind of on the outside looking in or towards the bottom of the AFC picture, and then all of a sudden you get to December, it's playoff football for them when they get to December, and then they flip that switch, and when they do, who's the only quarterback that's been able to stop Mahomes in the playoffs? Not counting Jalen Hurts, like in the AFC.
Joe Burrow.
And who's not going to be in the playoffs this year?
Joe Burrow. Yeah, but
exactly.
But that's the point there as well, though. The biggest problem with that now is that the Chiefs have been so used to just running that division, and this year it's not the case. Like the Broncos currently are up big on them, and
that's fine. The Chiefs had to go on the road in the playoffs last year and won.
Oh,
at Baltimore and at Buffalo.
I mean, so far this year they've lost to the Chargers week 1.
Mm-hmm.
They did beat Baltimore before they fell.
And I don't know what that Chargers team is
anymore. The Jags. Yeah, I don't know anymore. I mean, they're the Chargers. That's what they are. They lost to Jacksonville, who's still hanging around.
Which they don't lose to Jacksonville if they play that game again.
The Chargers might have words about that. I can't believe how badly the Chargers got dominated by the Jags.
Yeah. And the Chiefs lost to the Bills again, which that happens every year during the regular season. That's not a shock that the Chiefs lose to the Bills during the regular season. But come the playoffs, the Bills can't beat the Chiefs.
No argument there.
The Ravens can't beat the Chiefs come the playoffs.
They get
no argument there.
All these teams that can beat the Chiefs during the regular season.
They have to turn it around if they want to make the playoffs. I mean, they have Indianapolis next.
Which I think is going to be their final loss.
Final loss?
I think they win their last 6 to get to 11-6. Or even go 5-1 and get to 10-7. At 10-7, if they get the 7 seed, you can't tell me that the number 2 seed in the AFC wants to see the Chiefs as a 7 seed in that first game of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue that.
Because the number 2 seed is going to be at this point New England or Indianapolis. You can't tell me that either one of those teams wants to see Kansas City as a 2 seed and a 7 seed.
I would love to see the Patriots versus Kansas City.
Oh, I would too, but you can't tell me that they want to see the Chiefs because that is a very inexperienced playoff roster.
Yeah.
With a young quarterback who's never been in the playoffs before, going up against the most experienced playoff team in the AFC. A team that's not going to crumble if they're down by double digits at halftime because they've done that so many times in the playoffs and have erased that double-digit lead in like 2 possessions. That's what they've been talking about all morning on like a lot of the local NFL channels where everyone's counting the Chiefs out right now. And they said they may be out of the division, which I don't think that they're going to win the division. But by no means are they out of the playoff picture right now. And you can't tell me one single team in the AFC wants to see the Chiefs in the playoffs at all, regardless if they get the 7 seed, the 6 seed, or at whatever seed they get. because until somebody in the AFC can knock off the Chiefs are going to be favored to come out of the AFC, whatever seed they get if they make the playoffs. If they're the 7th seed, they will be the favorites to get to the Super Bowl until someone can knock them off. Because all the teams they're going to go through, they've gone through the playoffs the last 4 years and they've beaten them all.
Because even like you said with New England, even the Colts, inexperienced playoff roster, not much.
Yeah. And Daniel Jones in big games.
Yeah, can't trust them.
That's what I'm saying. Like all the teams they are going to see in the playoffs, whether it's the Jaguars, the Colts, the Bengals, the Bills, the Ravens, the Patriots, they've beaten all these teams in the playoffs at least once in the last 3-4 years, if not more than once. When you look at the Ravens and the Bills, this is nothing new for the Chiefs to be in the position they're in, and that's why if they get to the playoffs, they're going to be the scariest 7 seed because you're going to be like, oh, the Chiefs are heading to the number 2 seed Patriots. Chiefs are favored. The next week they're heading to the number 1 seed whoever. Chiefs are favored. AFC Championship game, we get the Bills and Chiefs. Chiefs are favored.
Now,
they will not be the underdog.
The thing that doesn't sell me on the Chiefs this year is the fact that I get it, they've always been a pass-heavy team. They don't usually have a strong run game, but it's usually good enough to be a threat so that teams can't just hone in on their pass game. And I feel like this year they don't have that at all.
Because Pacheco's been hurt again.
Pacheco's been hurt. He never fully recovered.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Yeah, I don't even know how old Kareem Hunt is anymore.
He's 30. He's not that old, but he's just not an every down back anymore.
Yeah. And then I don't think their defense has been as good as it was the last couple of years.
Their defense is fine. They gave 19 points to the Broncos? You should be able to win.
They haven't scored that many points against teams.
Oh, well, I mean, Broncos defense is good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you give up 19 points to the Broncos, you're going to win more often than not if you give up 19 points. Even when the Chiefs' offense was bad last year. They're going to win more often than not because they're very seldom are they going to score less than 20 points. So if the Chiefs are giving up 19 points a game come playoff time, I have full confidence that they're going to score at least 21. That offense, even though they struggle this year, even though they're not the same as what they used to be, they're still not going to have too many issues scoring 21 points.
Man, like I've said this on here. I said this on Dueling Aces on Tuesdays. I've said this on everywhere I think I'm a part of. As long as 15 is under center and Big Red is on the sideline, you can't count them out. Let's move on to another game because Anthony's in here. What's up, Anthony?
What's up, Anthony?
And he said, "Can we say the Packers are officially overrated?" Jordan Love just isn't it. I don't.
He's not $55 million. I'll say that, but he's still a franchise.
All right. Yeah, he's still a threat, but I mean, let's be real. He hasn't had Reed in almost the entire year. Tucker Kraft is out. Now Josh Jacobs is out. Thank you, fantasy football. They're down a bunch of weapons right now.
And it doesn't help that the weapons he has can't catch the damn football either.
Yeah.
Fucking 19 drops the last 2 games.
His best weapon was Kraft.
No, his best weapon was Jaden Reed, who got hurt in week 1.
Yeah.
Like, Dobbs is inconsistent.
Dobbs is a head case, literally, because he's got to make sure his head don't hit the ground.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay. That's it.
Dobbs is their best red zone target. He's had the most touchdowns the last 3 years. I think he's got 24 touchdowns the last 3 years. Like, he's been their most targeted receiver in the red zone. But,
yeah,
he hits his head every now and then and keeps him out half the season. So they can't really trust him in the red zone too much, which is where Tucker Kraft came into play. Now he's out. So now who's your red zone target? Jaden Reed? He's out. They don't really have that red zone target right now besides Dobbs, who's healthy right now. That's why I don't think that Jordan Love is overrated. He's just not $55 million worth of a quarterback because the Packers got happy feet because he had one good 8-game stretch his first year as a starter. And they're like, oh, you're the second coming of Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. Like, we got to pay you now. And then the next season they realized, shit, maybe we should have waited another year before we paid you what we were going to pay you because now you're definitely not worth what we paid you.
Yeah, let's kick off the greatest rivalry in sports talk, and that would be Dustin versus George once again. Because George is saying the Chiefs will win 3, maybe 4 games the rest of the way. I am going to see my way out of
if you win 4 games, they're 9-8. That still probably gets them in as a 7. Because I don't think Jacksonville's going to keep up the pace they're keeping up. And Jacksonville's the final team in right now.
Okay, I can't believe that.
So let's just take a look at the Chiefs' remaining schedule here. I have it pulled up.
Okay.
The Colts are going to Kansas City next week.
Okay.
I don't see the Chiefs losing 3 games in a row. I don't. I don't think they've ever lost 3 games in a row under Andy Reid.
And if they did, it was when Alex Smith
Yeah,
was their
so
quarterback.
I'm going to say the Chiefs win next week to get to 6-5. They follow that up by going to Dallas on Thanksgiving. They might hang 40 on Dallas's defense. So that would put them at 7-5. Then the Texans come to Kansas City. Kansas City can win that game because the Texans aren't anything special this year. That puts them at 8-5. Then they get the Chargers in Kansas City. I don't think the Chargers win at Kansas City. That puts them at 9-5. Then they get the Titans after that. They're going to destroy the Titans. So that puts them at 10-5, and then they finish up with the Broncos and Raiders. They're beating the Raiders. That gives them 11. That's 11-6.
The Broncos kind of have the division locked up. How many guys are playing in that game?
Well, that'd be week 17. They get the Broncos on Thursday night. I think the Broncos still play everybody in that game. But even at then,
They got a chance to knock the Chiefs out the playoffs. They're playing everybody.
so yeah, even if the Chiefs lose to the Colts, the only other game that they're probably losing the rest of the way is the Broncos, and that's still a 10-7 team.
Oh, George, come on!
George, I don't know about them losing to Dallas.
Yeah. They're still going to win 10 games. Because I think if they lose to I see them losing to the Broncos for sure, because I think the Broncos are playing for the division championship that night. And then if they lose to the Colts, I think those will be their only other 2 losses. Their schedule softens up a lot in December, which is why I brought up the point that once that calendar turns to December, the Chiefs get playoffs on their mind. Their December schedule for the Chiefs: Cowboys, Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos, Raiders. That is a very soft December schedule. That is a very soft December schedule where they can get into a groove and get confidence rolling into the playoffs.
It would make it harder for them to beat the Chargers if they could have Hampton back prior to that game. Like, I'm talking let him get his feet wet again in a game before they face them.
And who's blocking for him?
It don't matter. Trust me, if I've seen whatever Kamani Vidal is with his inconsistent, well, actually, it is kind of consistent. He has one good week, one bad week, one good week, one bad week. So next week's probably a good week again. So if he's still finding a way to run behind that offensive line on an every other week basis, I think Hampton, with his explosiveness, is going to find a way.
And as bad as the Chiefs' offense has looked this year, Patrick Mahomes is on pace to have the fewest interceptions he's had in the season in 4 years. He's only got 6 picks this year.
So Mahomes has played. No, Mahomes has played. He's actually played really well.
George, I'm not saying they're going to win the division, and I literally just said they're probably going to get into the playoffs as the 7 seed. But what I also said is, as a 7 seed, do you think the number 2 seed in the AFC is going to want to see the Chiefs as a 7 seed? Especially when you look at who's at the top of the AFC right now. The Patriots and the Colts are probably going to be the top 2 seeds, or at least seeds 2 and 3 if the Broncos get the number 1 seed. Do you think either one of those teams wants to see Kansas City in that first game?
Yeah, George, in all seriousness, if I'm a betting man, I don't care if it's on the road or at home. Do you really think Daniel Jones is going to beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs? Come on.
Do you think that Drake May is going to beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs in his first career playoff start, knowing that Mike Vrabel's had to go against him twice before and is 0-2 against him in the playoffs?
That's a good point. Well, I'll say there's a first time for everything.
I'm not saying there's not, but until I see somebody other than Joe Burrow beat Kansas City in the playoffs, I will not pick against him in the AFC. Because he's literally gone through the 3 best quarterbacks in the AFC every single year for the last 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, that's all we have to go off of.
And he's 8-1. with his only loss coming to Joe Burrow in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's 2-0 against 3-0 against Lamar Jackson. I think he's 3-0 or 4-0 against Josh Allen. The only the best quarterbacks in the AFC, he just goes through them year after year after year after year, no matter where they play the games.
Pretty much, Espo. Colts are. I mean, the Colts are lucky they're in a bad division.
If the Chiefs play the Steelers, that means the Chiefs slide all the way up to the number 5 seed, which means the Chiefs are basically going to have to lose one game the rest of the way.
And I'm sorry, George. You're really going to expect me to pick the Steelers to beat the Chiefs?
Yeah.
I have no disrespect to George, but George is such a Patrick Mahomes hater that he will pick against the Chiefs any chance he gets without just looking at the whole picture that there's only been one quarterback not named Tom Brady to beat Patrick Mahomes in an AFC playoff game. Patrick Mahomes has never seen anything in the AFC but the AFC Championship game or Super Bowl since he has taken over as the starting quarterback. His first year as a starter, they went to the AFC Championship game and lost to Tom Brady. He's never been anywhere else but the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl. That's 8 straight years of at least making it that far. And every year the Chiefs don't have Rashee Rice every year. They didn't have Rashee Rice last year. They haven't had Tyreek Hill the last 3 years, and they keep getting to the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship game despite losing weapons every single year. It doesn't matter where this team finishes in the regular season. It's the fact that if they get into the playoffs are different for this team. They take it a lot more serious in the regular season. I know that sucks to say because you want to win during the regular season too. But when it comes to the Chiefs and what they've done the last 8 years, their goal is just to get into the playoffs. They don't care how they get in. They don't care where they get in. Their goal is just to get into the playoffs. Considering I haven't had an alcoholic drink in 2 years since my dad died from alcoholism, I don't have to put the beer down because I don't drink.
Oh boy, we're gonna. Hey George, maybe a one of one with you and Dustin one day. That would be great.
But okay, if you guys had a gun to your head right now, in the playoffs field was set with the Chiefs getting in as the 6th or the 7th seed. If you had a gun to your head right now and they said you have to pick the Chiefs or the field, what are you taking?
Chiefs. I pick the Chiefs.
Probably the Chiefs. Like I said, again, I've agreed. The one thing I've always said, and Dustin, I've agreed with you 1,000 times on this. As long as 15 is under center and Big Red is on that sideline, they're always going to have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing else they need. Spagnuolo's defense always turns on a different level in the playoffs. Chris Jones, Karlaftis, McDuffie, they make plays when they need to.
Kelsey.
I didn't think I had to bring him up because I expected of him. But it's what they are. This is the definition of a championship pedigree. Like,
who's holding the gun? A Marine. Who's holding the gun? A Marine sniper.
Oh.
My God. I suppose so. I love how everyone props up the AFC as Super Bowl conference. Yet the one team keeps belting all of them on the road to the Super Bowl. Ain't wrong, Espo.
No one's propping the AFC up as a super conference. It's just the fact that
I think they're the more talked about conference in regards to people like to talk about Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, and Jackson.
Yeah, it's the more talked about conference, but I think the NFC is a better conference top to bottom this year without question. It's the fact that when you look at the NFC right now, the Eagles are still going to be the favorites because they're the number 1 seed right now and they're the current Super Bowl champions. Like, they're going to be the favorites coming out of the NFC. But in reality, you could make a case that 5 teams in the NFC right now could represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Because 4 of the best 5 teams in the NFL are in the NFC right now. You look at the AFC, could the Ravens get there if they get hot? Yes. Could the Bills get there if they get hot? Yes. Do you think the Colts and Patriots are ready to get there right now? I think the Patriots are peaking a lot sooner than people thought. I think the Colts are a year or 2 away from being Super Bowl contenders. And I don't think Broncos are going to make it past their first playoff game just because of how they played this year for most of the season. The Chiefs
Yeah,
are
like you.
the Chiefs are really the only team that if the playoffs were to start, like that'd be the only team that you'd be like, the Chiefs are built to win the Super Bowl right now, or the Chiefs are built to get there. Everyone else is like, they could get there. You could see the Ravens there, you could see the Bills there, but they would have to go through this person to get there.
Yeah. No, yeah, I don't disagree with basically anything you said. Like, as long as they have the core nucleus that they have in place, they're always going to be a favorite in the AFC because somebody one day has to prove that they can overtake them, and yet only one man has not named Tom Brady in the AFC, and that is Joe Burrow. The problem is Joe Burrow is part of the worst run organization in the National Football League.
It's like it is literally like without saying that Mahomes and Tom Brady are on the same level because they're not at this point. This is the exact same thing that happened when Tom Brady was quarterback. The Patriots, when Tom Brady was quarterback, made the AFC Championship game every single year but 2 years when they made the playoffs. That is literally what Mahomes is pretty much doing, where once he gets to the playoffs, he might not get to the Super Bowl every year, but they're getting to the AFC Championship game every year. Like, if you get that far every single year, everyone's going to give you a chance whenever the playoffs start. No matter how good you are during the regular season or how bad you play, it's the matter of winning when it matters, and that's what they've done in 8 years. They win games when it matters.
Yeah, they still have that pedigree.
Like, I picked against the Chiefs last year. I thought they were going to lose in the divisional game to the Bills or the Ravens, whoever they played in the divisional game last year. I thought they were going to lose. And then they went on the road to both places and won both places on the road. I'm like, I just can't pick against them in the playoffs anymore until someone else can actually beat them.
Yeah. And Espo, to be fair, the only other team that there's only been one other NFC team since 2020 that is still like got their active quarterback that has won the Super Bowl, and that's the Rams. I know the Bucks.
Exactly what he just put right there. That's what it should be, the Chiefs Invitational.
Chiefs Invitational.
Pretty much.
That's literally what it's turned out to be the last 8 years, the Chiefs Invitational.
All right, so I have another question about a game yesterday, and I'm hoping one of you can answer me this. How many passes did Jacoby Brissett throw?
You want to talk about that game? I thought we were going to talk about that another San Francisco kicker was injured.
Oh, we could talk about that. I just want to know why Jacoby Brissett threw 57 passes and completed 47 of them.
Yeah, I mean, Arizona, they're experimenting with some new things. I think they're trying to set a lot of records there.
For what?
Not a record in
Abandoning
wins.
the run?
Yeah, not a record for wins. Well, I mean, Sam, when your running backs are Bam Knight, Amari DiMercado, and Michael Carter, I can't blame them for abandoning the run. But damn, Jacoby Brissett, how did he only miss 10 passes throwing the ball 57 times? And they lost by almost 20. That's like the craziest stat line in the world that I've ever seen. This is like a high school football stat line. Like you're beating up on that bad team from across town.
The Cards have gone through 2 years worth of running back depth. Hey, be quiet. James Conner was like my second running back taken to fantasy this year. Also, what I wanted to talk about.
You're welcome, George.
George, it's our way of saying thank you for all you've done for us.
Yep.
Also, can I bring something? Are we noticing a culture change in the Windy City?
Yeah, a little bit.
It hasn't looked pretty, but Ben Johnson has got the Bears in a really good spot.
They're getting there. I mean, 7-3. Trust me, like a few weeks ago, we were not having the same conversation.
Do you want
2
to? I
weeks
got better
ago,
numbers for you.
we were looking at them at the bottom of their division with the Carson Wentz Vikings at the time looking better.
Good Lord. Oh, good Lord. Don't bring that up, please. I got some numbers for you. Okay. So, Chicago Bears offensive rankings this year. Total yards, they're averaging 384.4. That's fourth in the NFL. 227 passing yards, that's 13th. They are the second leading rushing offense in the NFL, averaging 146.6 per game.
Wow.
They are eighth, averaging 26 points per game. The biggest issue with their offense, they commit some penalties. But you know what? Young head coach, young quarterback, young offense. Mistakes are going to happen. So, looks like Ben Johnson is doing exactly what the Bears have wanted him. The Bears have needed from him. Great run. He's brought that run game over from Detroit. Manungai's been really good. Hey, it's like somebody talked about him during the pre-draft process.
He has been good.
I know my running backs. Trust me. DeAndre Swift's had a solid year. They're getting all their guys involved. Adunze, Moore, Colson Loveland has been coming on as of late. He's been playing a lot better. But their offensive line has been drastically better compared to last year.
Oh, yeah, because they did an entire overhaul. That was the goal. If they did not see an improvement at offensive line, I don't know how to fix it at that point.
Anthony,
Whoa.
Anthony, there were 45-mile-an-hour wind gusts last night in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
They're going to miss half those kicks.
I mean, you saw they missed the far extra point because of the penalty. Imagine trying to kick some of those field goals. That's just not going to happen. They literally had to rip the ball against the wind so that way it would just blow through the uprights. But no, Dan Campbell, he's not changing up from who he is. People don't criticize and call for him to be fired when it's working. They praise him for it. So I respect him for sticking to his guns, not backing down, not trying to take the easy way out or the better way out. He's sticking to his guns. He's believing in his team, believing that they can go convert for a first down. And it just didn't happen.
Espo, once again, Kevin Byard was fine in Philly. He was coached by two of the worst defensive minds you could think of.
I don't think I could fault any person on that defense during that year with how bad those two knuckleheads were.
But yeah, man, I think it's so. And you know, Ben Johnson has been amazing. He's been really good this year for the Bears. Their defense, it's kind of in the lower part of the pack in a lot of categories. They do create some turnovers, so that really helps them. What is your overall opinion so far with Caleb Williams?
He's been kind of inconsistent to me.
Agree, George,
He's
by the
still
way.
not. Oh, yeah. He's still not completing as many passes as I think that he should. He's only completing about 59.7% of his passes this year. You got to get that up into the higher 60s, at least above 65. I feel like that's kind of like the bottom of the barrel there. But as far as interceptions, he's only thrown 4 interceptions all year. He's averaging 232 passing yards per game. It's pretty solid. I mean, he's getting the job done. He's only been sacked 16 times through 11 weeks, which is pretty impressive.
It's like, is that like
compared
50
to
less
last
than
year.
last year?
Literally, yeah. So he's enjoying some more time in the pocket. So that's where you would like to see a higher completion percentage when you're not getting pressured as much.
Anthony, it should never came back in the first place. But yeah, after having the ball forced to you 11 targets and that happened, yeah, that's gonna stop now. Oh, Espo, I'm sure he will view it as a revenge game.
What team
He
is he
was
on now?
actually
I don't even know what team he's on.
he's on the Bears.
Oh,
He has actually transformed the Bears defense. They got a little more of a little attitude now that he's over there. They've been playing well since they got CJ.
okay.
But back to the thing with Caleb. The thing with Caleb Williams, he's almost like, I'm not comparing him to Jalen Hurts. I think we can agree Caleb Williams is a lot more talented of quarterback than Jalen Hurts. But I compare him in the area of, does Caleb have some throws that he absolutely needs to make that he misses? Absolutely. I think every young quarterback does. But once again, with Caleb, he doesn't turn the ball over. He's only got 4 interceptions on the year, am I right?
Yep, 4.
He's only thrown 10 in his whole career. He only had 6 last year. The problem last year with Caleb Williams is that he got hit the second the ball touched his fingertips.
Yeah.
So, like, I completely understand, like, fans' frustrations with Caleb Williams here and there, but he's not turning the ball over. They've had their fair share of fourth quarter comebacks too. They're winning games, man. They're 7-3, right?
7-3. Yep.
They are like, and are they? They're leading the North. Am I right?
I think
Yeah.
they are a game
So
ahead.
like, Ben Johnson is doing exactly what the Bears wanted him to do. Their defense has to be a little bit better. They're not the greatest, but their offense, he brought that Detroit style. We're going to fix this offensive line, which those interior guys, Delman, Tooney, Jackson, have all been doing. They have been very good. And now they're running the football well with DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monungai. Even Caleb's ran more this year using his legs. They're getting all their weapons involved with Loveland and Adunze and more. They're playing good football right now, and it seems like there's finally the culture change that the Bears have been looking for.
Yep, I agree. They're headed in the right direction. I mean, if they keep it up, they're probably going to end up winning their division. Which, honestly, I saw them being like 3rd or 4th finish in their division. Not with a bad record, but just not able to keep up with the Lions and the Packers.
I don't think they can keep up with the Lions. I think the Lions are still my favorite in that division, just because, Dan Campbell, Jared Goff's playing good football. But the Packers have not shown me anything this year that they're a legit contender. Injuries or not. And but yeah, so like, it's nice to see that. I mean, the Bears fans deserve a winner. And like I said, Detroit, they're still my favorite in that division. The Packers have not shown me enough, and the Vikings, we heard Dustin's tirade about them earlier.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Anthony, yeah, I understand that. I said Caleb's not perfect. He's still got. They're still trying to work out some kinks, but I mean, the fact that they're 7-3 says something. So, but no, yeah, I think it's nice to see the Bears playing some really good football. George, how did Cam Scatterbo get into an altercation with some wrestlers? He's like on one foot.
That's what I was. If I'm the Giants, I'm like, who authorized you to get into a scuffle in the front row?
Abdul, what were you doing?
You're supposed to be rehabbing. What are you doing?
I agree, Espo. I can't wait for the rivalry uniforms. I also agree with what you said earlier that we should wear our black uniforms on Black Friday. That would be, I mean, that's the easiest freaking uniform combination to pick, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Espo, is that still the MVP? What do you do this time?
Let's see. He handed the ball off. I might be behind.
I don't know. I'm watching the Sixers game. So, and Espo said, I need McCarthy to be good at least one game so I could sell his rookie cards the same night.
Yeah,
Well, all right,
good luck.
Tyler. Let's get this last segment real quickly so we can get out of here. It's been a very good first show under the new Unbiased name, and of course, part of 609 Sports Talk Radio. Very good first
Real
night.
quick to answer Anthony, my fantasy team is in shambles.
And Jamar Chase is a moron. So I did have a graphic of the latest playoff format, which, I mean, here it is. This is what we're looking at as of last week. The problem is none of this matters anymore
Now,
because this happened. Bama all the way down to 10. Tyler, the SEC shakeup has officially happened.
Yep, of course. Leave it to the SEC to let Notre Dame climb even higher.
Nice going, Texas and Alabama.
Yep. So I'm just gonna say it. I don't know what school number 22 is. Never seen that in my life.
I'm not going to go there.
Do you know, Sam?
No, I don't know. Why do you think I just said I'm not going to go there?
I don't know, but I got to find out now.
But
most things stay the same. Georgia takes a little jump. Top three are the same. Ole Miss jumps up. Pretty much everyone shifted. I see that we have two number 6s again. Why? Why can't we just pick one as the 7? I don't understand that.
No, it's because these guys don't know how to do actual numbers.
Oh my gosh.
Someone doesn't know how to type.
Oh wait, no, Sam. They did it right. These rankings are based off of points, like a point system when they put in votes. They actually had a tie number of points. It was 1299 for Oregon and Texas Tech.
Oh my god!
No, they this was not a typo. They
Speaking
are tied in the rankings.
Hold on, I got a couple players I want to talk about real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find what the school is. Oh my gosh, Sam! North Texas, Mean Green, North Texas.
Do you want to hear the numbers for Texas Tech linebacker Jacob Rodriguez?
Yeah, let me hear it.
Now, he really hit on the scene since that Utah game early in the season. Listen to what Jacob Rodriguez has done this year for Texas Tech. 94 total tackles, including 1 sack. 4 interceptions. 7 forced fumbles. 2 of them he has recovered and has 1 defensive touchdown. I think it's safe to say whoever drafts this kid is getting a stud.
Easily.
I mean, Anthony, what's there really to be upset about? I mean, who do you want to put over Oregon? Oklahoma? They finally had a big win on Saturday, and what a win that was.
Yeah. Oklahoma definitely needed that win to be able to get back into the top 10. And I'm glad they did.
Honestly, they have not looked very good since John Mateer came back from his injury.
Nope. They're settling back in, and they're a team to watch out for heading into this play.
Their defense. They played really well.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one issue at Alabama if they're in the playoff. They don't run the ball very well like Bama teams used to. And if they get into that mode where they can't run the football, then they can get in some trouble. But the other player I want to talk, don't get me wrong. I know the guys we like to talk about, right? We love talking about Julian Sayin. We love talking about Fernando Mendoza. We love talking about Ty Simpson. I get that. Has anybody been paying attention to Gunnar Stockton this year? 70% completion percentage, a 156.9 rating, 2,269 passing yards, a 19-3 touchdown to interception ratio, and 8 rushing touchdowns on the year. While the Bulldogs are sitting at number 4 in the country.
Yeah, Stockton's he's been quietly good this year.
He's a lot better than Carson Beck looked in Georgia.
Oh yeah.
Well, no disrespect. Carson Beck had a good game this weekend, too. I think he went 4 touchdown passes, no picks.
That's good.
But
Good to see he wasn't seeing ghosts like Sam Darnold.
please, what did he ever? What? You've got a very big issue with Carson Beck, don't you?
No, I don't. I thought he was gonna be the best quarterback in the nation this year with Miami. I thought he was. And he's not terrible. And depending on how he plays the rest of the year out, he'll make some noise in the draft.
So, playoff bracket comes out tomorrow. I'm going to be very interested to see how it looks. Anthony, because you lost to Oklahoma.
Yeah, and Oklahoma was, correct me if I'm wrong, 11.
12th or 11th, something like that.
So it's not too far off. Bama's lucky they didn't get dropped outside of the top 10.
You can't drop a 4 seed out of the top 10 like that. Are you out of your mind?
I know. That's why I said they're lucky that they lost to Oklahoma.
They are. But Oklahoma's a good team. Like I said, they just have to get healthy. They had to get Batir healthy. And I mean, that's a big road win. Going to Alabama and beating them there. That is big for Oklahoma. Like, that's as big of a signature win that I could think of. Yo, Tyrese Maxey is on something tonight. This man has gone insane. Sixers up by 4. 2 minutes to go. Tyrese Maxey has 39 points. On 13 of 26 shooting.
Wow.
VJ Edgecombe has 14. Quentin Grimes has 19 off the bench. Andre Drummond turning back the clock with 12 points and 17 rebounds. Anthony, Alabama had a stretch where they won like 4 or 5 straight games against ranked opponents. There's no way they're dropping them out. You can't drop them out of the top 10 because they lost to Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which, Tyler, just before we get off the air, first head coaching job has been officially taken care of. James Franklin heads to Virginia Tech.
So how do these contracts work with college football? When does he officially become the head coach?
Once I think it's once the season ends.
Okay.
Or it's no, I don't know.
Because I'm just thinking in terms of like how it's so weird with like the transfer portal, like the 2 time periods and all that stuff.
Don't ask. Do not ask.
Confusing.
What are your thoughts on this, Tyler? I'll let you go first, then I'll go.
I think it's a good landing spot for James Franklin. We said it. He's not a bad coach. He's a good football coach, especially good for college football. But what he was able to do with Penn State to bring them back to relevance was impressive, to say the least. I can't even find the right word for it. But the one thing about James Franklin that you've seen over the years is that he was never going to be the type of coach to get them to the top spot in the college football world. He wasn't going to get them to a Georgia, to an Alabama. He was never going to be able to do that. But what I think he brings to an organization like Virginia Tech, obviously, Penn State's the bigger school. They're the more prominent, renowned school as far as historical purposes go. But for him to be at Virginia Tech, down in Virginia, where he does a lot of recruiting, as you've told me he does, I think it's a really good fit for him. And with Virginia Tech, he doesn't have that pressure of my team needs to be in the top 4 consistently throughout the year in the college football rankings. If he gets them ranked throughout the entire year, even if it's in the teens, that alone is going to be a big upgrade for Virginia Tech. Because yeah, they've had success where they're in the rankings here and there, but he'll be able to do that consistently. And depending on how well he recruits, he may even have them in the top 10 some years.
Well, my opinion on the entire matter is that Virginia Tech is a program that needs their program rebuilt, and they are a program that has been needing a rebuild for a while. And if you are looking for a coach that can rebuild your entire program, James Franklin is your perfect guy. He did it at Penn State. He did it at Vanderbilt. He's got heavy, heavy ties in recruiting in the Virginia area. I'm sure he is going to try his best to screw over Penn State as much as he can down there, so I'm prepared for it. And no offense to James Franklin, we knew he was never taking the Florida job. We knew he wasn't going to be considered for the LSU job or the Arkansas job because he already struggles against Ohio State and Michigan. Why the hell would he go to the SEC?
Yeah, honestly, why would you go to the if you can't beat some of the big teams in the Big Ten, you're not going to the SEC.
There is a chance that we could see a lot of Virginia Tech in the ACC championship game over the next couple of years because there is no clear cut. There really aren't many clear cut favorites anymore in the ACC.
Yeah, Clemson's been on a downward spiral. They're not the juggernaut. Miami is unpredictable. I think that's a good word to use for them each year.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Aside from them, help me out here. Who else? North Carolina? No, I'll take a pass.
I'll pass every day and twice on Saturday.
I don't know. I don't know who else.
But no, I think it's a perfect landing spot for James Franklin. I'm glad he got another job. I hope Penn State nails their hire because all the big targets are dwindling out and getting extensions. So it'll be very interesting to see who Penn State hires because apparently Pat Kraft wants that done by the end of the month. So, I mean, well, Patty, you got about 14 days left. So,
yeah, you don't got much time.
I think it's going to be Eli Drinkwitz from Missouri, which I'm okay with. I like Drink. The only issue with Eli Drinkwitz, though, is he doesn't have much Northeast recruiting. So if you're Penn State, you probably would like to keep Terry Smith around the program. Which shout out to Terry Smith for getting his first win as Penn State interim head coach on Saturday. Shout out to that. Team played, upperclassmen played well. K-Tron was really good this week, 181 yards. DDS, 2 sacks. The losing streak is finally over, so it was nice to see. But I'm happy James Franklin landed on his feet fast. Virginia Tech's getting a heck of a coach. I think that program is definitely going to be going in the right direction. And Penn State probably just lost half of their recruits and probably some transfer guys. Okay. But anyway, Tyler, anything you have to say before we call it a night on Unbiased?
Nah, that's about all I got.
All right, everyone. I can't name all of you, but I will try. First of all, shout out to George. All the artwork, all the graphic design stuff he hooked us up with for this new era of 609 Sports Talk Radio. Shout out to him and all the comments he threw in. Shout out to Espo, Anthony, Kaylee, Carol, Orlando, Mikey. Oh my God. Shout out to Dustin for joining us tonight, of course. For anybody that wonder why did Dustin just abruptly leave, his laptop died. So
my gosh. I'm sorry. I thought I almost just saw. So, Geno just got picked off by the Cowboys. The first play of the Cowboys' next drive, Dak winds up. He looks like he thought he threw a cannon down the field, and then it almost gets intercepted. He just couldn't bring it down. Oh, that would have been so funny if he threw an interception right back after getting the ball.
Would have been the most Cowboys thing ever.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're 3-5-1 for a reason. It's not because they're good.
No.
But once again, shout out to everyone for joining us tonight. Dennis, Tim, saw some of his comments in. Steven was in here with us for a little bit as well. Everybody who came out tonight to watch this show, thank you all so much. We will be back on Friday. Mark the calendars. This Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, the debut of the Friday Night Gridiron Picks. Tyler and I will be back giving you all our predictions for Week 12 of the NFL season. So, guys, thank you all for joining us. Anthony,
Yes,
I don't think I need to echo that. I've only told people that for 4 years, but that's worthy of winning Comeback Player of the Year.
Serviceable in Seattle.
Okay.
He was serviceable in Seattle.
That's fine.
That's all I'll leave that.
A blind squirrel finds an acorn eventually. But anyway, guys, have a safe rest of your Monday. Hope you guys enjoy the week. And we will see you back here on Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, for the debut of the Friday Night Gridiron Picks. So once again, thank you to Dustin again for joining us on the first episode of Unbiased. Thank you to all of you who watched and commented in with us throughout the night. And we will see you guys on Friday. For Tyler Adams, I'm Sam Nelson. Good night, everybody.
The following has been a presentation of 609 Sports Talk Radio.
Sam, what did you do?